What's up guys, it's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well and I hope you're ready for another Astral Elf summon because we have got Starlass in the portal. There was a massive blunder this morning, basically where SG had decided that they didn't know what to put on the card, and the second part of the special it looked like we had some of their coding secrets down in the bottom. But they have resolved things now. No little gift or no little token saying, you know, we're a bit sorry for what we've done, but that's what we've come to expect from them. Anyway, we do have a brand new hero in the portal. Of course, we're going to check her out. I know there's a lot of people who are excited about this new elf, and I'm definitely one of them. So let's go right into the portal and we will start off by having a look at our newest Astral elf, which is Starlass. I know that my man Twilight Dawning, shout out to you. I know you're probably going to be pulling hard for this one. I know you've been waiting a long time. So she's finally here, or he's finally here, however we, decide what gender this hero is. I think maybe gender non-specific by the looks of it. But yeah, she is finally here. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's have a look at this new hero. So first of all, she is, of course, a ranger, which gives her the chance to bypass defensive buffs. You can also get her up to the max emblems now with the master emblems, so she gets the master pierce, where she also, the target also gets a negative 20% defense for 3 turns. It's kind of a little niche bit of the talent, but it's still pretty useful and it still has its place. Now, the family bonus for these heroes, the Astral Elves family, they get a bonus from 1 hero upwards, and they get a 50 or a 70% chance to dispel a random dispellable status effect buff from an enemy that deals special skill damage to this character. Now, it is quite niche because if the enemy dealing damage doesn't have any buffs, then there's no chance that the special or the family bonus is going to trigger. But if the person that's dealing damage happens to have a wonderful buff and they deal damage to the character, then of course it's going to trigger. That being said, a lot of heroes that do give a lot of buffs don't necessarily deal damage, so that's not always going to work in your favor, but it is still a pretty decent family bonus. Now, they do get the dual passive, so the first one being the resistance against poison, so the character's got an innate resistance against poison. Similar to what we have with the Gargoyles family, you cannot give these characters poison. So poor old ZZ Jing's been absolutely kneecapped by this passive. And the secondary passive is the one that really works very well, where they share received damage. So 20% of the damage they receive is going to be shared with other allies, which makes these heroes very tanky and very survivable. So I do like that second passive there as well. Now, in terms of stats, what are we looking at? So let's whack off the max power preview. I know people love the way I say that, but that's the way I'm used to doing it. So we switch off the max power preview and we can see she's running a team power of 1062. Pretty defensively built for this hero. So just over 1000 attack. We're used to seeing a little bit higher, but she's nearly 1200 on the defense and 1788, so nearly 1800 health. So that means she's going to be pretty stocky, very survivable. Couple that together with the shared damage passive, and you've got yourself a hero that's going to stick around regardless of the mana speed. She's going to make it through, or he's going to make it through, it's going to make it through. If we do switch on the max power preview again, you can see that Starlass benefits from the damage reduction ether talent, where at the start of the battle, all damage received by this hero is reduced by 10% for 6 turns. That's a very strong ether talent. Right at the beginning of the battle is when you want that damage reduction to be effective. And again, like I said before, couple that up with the fact that Starlass is defensively built and he's got that massive shared received damage passive, and you're looking at a really staunch survivable hero, despite the fact that he doesn't look like much. Now, in terms of the actual special skill, it's called Power Wave. And Starlass is going to be running at slow speed. So, with most heroes, I'd say that might be a bit of a downside, but, we'll get to the special and we'll decide if it is or if it isn't. So this special skill never misses its targets. That passive has been, or that part of the special has been added to all of the Astral Elves family so that we know they can never miss. It deals 550% damage to the target and the nearby enemies. So hit 3, 550% damage to the target and nearby, and then automatically does 1043 damage to the hit enemy and consumes 75% of mana from the hit enemy every time their mana gets full for 3 turns. Okay, 3 turns is not a long time, and it is kind of workable on defense. I think, being able to wait it out for 3 turns is kind of doable. And I mean, that damage is huge. So really, if Starlass does hit you, the last thing that you want to do is get your hero up to full mana. You need to wait out those 3 turns. We do have other similar heroes that have that kind of effect. I'm thinking of somebody like Set. I know he's nowhere near the same, but it's where if you get to full, if you defeat him, then you reduce mana. So there are heroes that will punish you. I mean, she's more sort of reminiscent of somebody like Hansel, but just not even in the same kind of realm. Just, this is a humongous hit to 3. I mean, in terms of rush, any kind of rush format, whether it's tournaments or wars, Starlass is going to dominate. But I would say that in other formats of the game, where you're looking at, I mean, the type of heroes that we've got in the game at the moment, and the type of damage and, punishment that you can get from not being prepared is just ridiculous. So I would say that if you do manage to survive that 550% damage, the fact that she's running at slow speed and it's going to take her a bit of time to charge up is going to allow you to sort of not take damage from that secondary effect. Now, I do think that it increases. Yes, it does. So that damage is 701 damage without the limit breaks and emblems. So unless you're going all the way with Starlass, you're not going to get quite up to that 1,000 damage. But it is a lot of damage. I mean, if you've just taken that big of a hit, and then you get that hero up to 1,000, I mean, up to full mana, taking another 1,000 damage is probably going to take care of those 3 heroes, or one of those 3 heroes that you've hit. Now, it does say, interestingly, it says automatically does 1,043 damage to the hit enemy and consumes 75% mana from the hit enemy every time their mana gets full. So I'm wondering here, because she is hitting, the target and nearby, I would assume that that mana cut applies to both the target and the nearby enemies. If it doesn't apply to the target and nearby enemies, then I don't think this is quite as good of a hero as she could be. But if it applies to all 3, then she's an absolute beast of a hero, S tier all day long. Because not only is she pretty much decimating the team in one shot, or at least 2/3 of the team in one shot, but she's also crippling them to where you cannot charge them full. Otherwise, they're just going to finish themselves off, harakiri all day long. So Starlass is a fabulous hero. I honestly think that she's definitely a good addition into the portal. And I don't think, there are counters for this hero. She might not be able to never miss targets, but she can't just bypass everything. I mean, she is a ranger, so there is a pretty high chance. It's a 25% chance to bypass. But if she goes up against somebody with counterattack up, she's going to be doing a significant amount of damage to herself as well. So there are counters. I do like the way this hero is put together, though. I think she's an absolute beast. So massive congratulations if you do manage to pull Starlass in this portal. Please do let me know in the comments as well what your thoughts are on Starlass, and where you think she's going to be best used. I think a rush superstar all day long. Very, very good defensive hero. But I think that on defense, you can kind of work around it outside of the rush format. But that being said, I don't want to be hit for 550% damage. No, thank you. So yeah, it's a fantastic hero. I do think she has her limitations, but I don't think that those limitations are going to stop you from wanting to max this hero in a heartbeat. So yeah, honestly, let me know what you guys think of Starlass. Do drop us a like and subscribe to the channel as well, so you don't miss any future videos. And that's pretty much all for now. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video, and have fun in the Astral Elves. Bye for now.